America's #1 communication tool to hole punch your neck. As it turns out, it's all bad because the body does not like having extra holes in it. And it reacts particularly bad whenever that hole is produced by an object moving at supersonic speeds through an area where cable management is a top priority. First off, is this a hard shot to make? Well, generally you're not targeting the neck. In my opinion, this means that the guy was actually going for the crowd pleaser, the headshot. Did most of his practicing horizontally at a range and did not realize that when you're shooting at a downward angle, you are going to get some bullet drop. He also could have been going for the more sure thing, which is down here in the chest, center of mass, and just forgot to zero his scope or had a bit of drift. Either way, it went through the neck. And to the people saying if there had been an ambulance on the scene or he had gotten proper medical care that the outcome would have been different, that is not the case. He could have been shot in an emergency room and the outcome would have been the same. All right, let's do a little bit of anatomy. Pay special attention to these two large blue tubes. This is going to be the external and internal jugular vein. They drain blood from the head back to the heart. Next up, we have this red tube. This is going to be the common carotid artery. It is one of the 4 sources of blood that head to the brain. At any given moment, there is about 1 liter of blood flowing through this every minute. And then kind of sneakily right here, you have the vertebral artery, which snakes its way up along the spine and heads into the skull to the brain. Now here you can see everything from the front and also appreciate that they are bilateral. These are those structures we were talking about: carotid, internal jugular, external jugular, and right here is the vertebral artery. So on the left side, you have half of the blood flow to the brain at any given time. This all means that severing these with anything is a big no-no in the user's manual of the human body. Now I want you to forget about all of that because that would only matter if this had been an arrow or a knife. In this instance, we're dealing with a high-speed projectile, and that means we need to talk about something called a temporary wound cavity. The human body is mostly water and soft tissue, and what you're seeing up there is what happens when a projectile contacts a substance like that. It causes basically a ballooning and swelling and cavitation of the tissue as it moves through it. So as that bullet was passing through here, it was causing the ballooning and violent expansion of all of this tissue. And that led to a complete obliteration, or at least very severe damage to the connection between the spinal cord and the brain. And you can see evidence of this very clearly in the video because he enters into something called decorticate posturing, where your arms involuntarily come up towards your chest. Many people mistook this for him trying to grab the wound, but you can see shortly after that he just goes completely limp. There was also multiple angles of this, and none of them indicated any kind of exit wound, which means all the energy from that projectile likely went directly into the spinal column.